Hey, I'm on to something here. I bet Dad don't know about this.
Oh, baby, I'm one of your best customers. I come in, I drop.
Dave Chappelle, the comedic genius known for his raw humor and unfiltered truth, recently stirred hearts and sparked conversations when he broke into tears while addressing the misunderstood legacy of Richard Pryor. In a moment that transcended laughter, Chappelle shattered the surface to reveal deeper truths about Pryor's passing, challenging the narratives that have persisted over the years. With genuine emotion pouring from his eyes, Chappelle unveiled a side of Pryor's story that many may not have heard before, shedding light on the complexities of the comedic icon's life and death. In his heartfelt revelation, Chappelle invites us to question what we think we know, urging us to look beyond the headlines and the surface-level understanding of Pryor's demise. As he shares his personal connection and reverence for Pryor, Chappelle's tears become a poignant reminder of the impact that Pryor had, not only on comedy, but on the lives of those who knew and admired him. In this raw and captivating moment, Dave Chappelle transcends comedy to deliver a powerful message about truth, legacy, and the importance of questioning the narratives we're fed. It's a moment that demands attention, drawing us in with its emotional intensity and leaving us with a renewed sense of curiosity and empathy. Dave Chappelle has often spoken about his admiration for the legendary comedian Richard Pryor and how Pryor served as a major influence on his own comedic style and career. From the earliest days of his own journey in comedy, Chappelle has looked up to Pryor as a trailblazer and a master of the craft. Richard Pryor was one of the most influential and groundbreaking comedians of the 20th century. His raw, honest, and often controversial comedy tackled taboo subjects such as race, politics, and social issues with unparalleled wit and insight. Pryor's ability to fearlessly confront difficult topics while still making audiences laugh revolutionized stand-up comedy and paved the way for future generations of comedians, including Chappelle. Chappelle has often cited Pryor as one of his biggest inspirations and influences. In interviews and performances, he has spoken reverently about Pryor's genius and the impact that Pryor had on him as a young comedian trying to find his own voice. Chappelle has credited Pryor with showing him that comedy could be a powerful tool for social commentary and self-expression. Chappelle has spoken fondly of Pryor's legendary stand-up performances, iconic sketches, and groundbreaking comedy albums such as That Nitter's Crazy and Live on the Sunset Strip. He has also credited Pryor with paving the way for future generations of comedians, including himself, by pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in mainstream comedy. One of the ways in which Chappelle has paid homage to Pryor is by incorporating elements of Pryor's style into his own comedy. Like Pryor, Chappelle is known for his fearlessness in tackling controversial subjects and his willingness to push boundaries in pursuit of comedic truth. Chappelle's ability to mix humor with deep insights into the human condition is reminiscent of Pryor's own approach to comedy. Chappelle has also spoken about the personal connection he feels to Pryor as a fellow African-American comedian. Growing up in the United States, Chappelle was keenly aware of the struggles and challenges faced by Black people, and he admired Pryor's ability to address these issues head-on through his comedy. Chappelle has often talked about how Pryor's willingness to speak truth to power inspired him to do the same in his own work. Chappelle has also praised Pryor's fearlessness and resilience in the face of adversity. Pryor's life was marked by personal struggles, including battles with addiction and mental health issues, but he never shied away from addressing these issues in his comedy. Chappelle has spoken about how Pryor's honesty and vulnerability on stage helped to break down barriers and stigma surrounding mental illness and addiction. Dave Chappelle's admiration for Richard Pryor runs deep, and Pryor's influence can be seen in virtually every aspect of Chappelle's comedy. From his fearless approach to controversial subjects to his willingness to speak truth to power, Chappelle has followed in Pryor's footsteps, while also carving out his own unique legacy in the world of comedy. Richard Pryor was born on December 1st, 1940, in Peoria, Illinois, to a family struggling with poverty. His early life was marked by hardships and difficulties that deeply influenced his comedic style and personal struggles later on. Growing up in a poor neighborhood, Pryor faced significant challenges from a young age. His father worked as a bartender, and his mother was a leading to a chaotic and unstable home environment. Pryor's parents separated when he was just 10 years old, leaving him to be raised primarily by his grandmother, Marie Carter. Despite his grandmother's efforts to provide stability, Pryor faced various hardships, including physical abuse from his mother's boyfriends and witnessing acts of violence in his neighborhood. These experiences left a lasting impact on Pryor, shaping his worldview and influencing the material he would later incorporate into his comedy routines. Pryor's early life struggles became a central theme in his comedic material. He often drew from his experiences growing up in Peoria, using humor as a coping mechanism to navigate the challenges he faced. His ability to find humor in the darkest of circumstances resonated with audiences and helped establish him as one of the most influential comedians of his time. Pryor's early career in stand-up comedy was influenced by various factors. Growing up in a tough neighborhood in Peoria, Illinois, Pryor's humor was often grounded in his experiences with poverty, racism, and family dynamics. His upbringing, along with his exposure to comedians like Bill Cosby and Red Fox, heavily influenced his comedic style. In his early years, Pryor's comedy was more conventional, drawing on observational humor and witty one-liners. However, as he delved deeper into his own experiences and began to explore more personal and controversial topics, his style evolved significantly. Pryor's comedic persona became more raw, honest, and introspective, reflecting the social and political turmoil of the time. Breakthrough moments were pivotal in Pryor's rise to prominence in the comedy scene. One significant milestone was his performance at the Aladdin in Las Vegas in 1966, where he gained widespread attention for his unique blend of humor and social commentary. This performance catapulted him into the mainstream, leading to appearances on popular television shows like The Ed Sullivan Show and The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Another breakthrough came with Pryor's album That Nenner's Crazy in 1974, which showcased his uncensored and provocative style. The album was a critical and commercial success, earning Pryor a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album. Pryor's emergence in comedy was characterized by his fearless approach to tackling taboo subjects such as race, politics, and drugs. His willingness to push boundaries and challenge societal norms set him apart as a trailblazer in the comedy world. Through his groundbreaking work, Pryor not only entertained audiences but also sparked important conversations about race, identity, and social justice. Richard became famous for his groundbreaking and boundary-pushing comedic routines. He fearlessly tackled taboo topics such as race, politics, and social issues, paving the way for future comedians to address sensitive subjects with wit and honesty. Pryor's comedy was revolutionary for its time, as he fearlessly delved into topics that were often considered off-limits. Through his sharp wit and raw honesty, Pryor challenged societal norms and provoked audiences to confront uncomfortable truths about race relations, politics, and cultural divides. One of Pryor's most famous routines, Live in Concert, showcased his ability to provoke thought while entertaining audiences. In this routine, Pryor candidly discussed his experiences with racism, discrimination, and the complexities of being a black man in America. His willingness to address these issues head-on earned him both praise and criticism, sparking important conversations about race and social justice. However, Pryor's boundary-pushing material also led to notable controversies. Some of his routines faced backlash from audiences and critics who found his language and subject matter offensive or inappropriate. In particular, Pryor's use of explicit language and his willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about race and social issues often sparked heated debate and even censorship. Despite facing criticism and censorship, Pryor remained unapologetic about his comedy and continued to push boundaries throughout his career. His willingness to address taboo topics with humor and honesty not only made him one of the most influential comedians of his time, but also left a lasting legacy on the world of comedy. He faced numerous personal struggles throughout his life, notably battling addiction and mental health challenges. His journey reflects the profound impact these struggles can have on one's personal and professional life. Pryor's battles with addiction were widely documented, with drugs and alcohol posing significant challenges. Addiction is a complex condition, often rooted in underlying emotional or psychological issues. Pryor's substance abuse not only affected his health, but also strained his relationships and career. Despite attempts to overcome addiction, relapses were frequent, highlighting the enduring nature of this struggle. In addition to addiction, Pryor grappled with mental health challenges. Depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder were among the issues he faced. Mental health conditions can be debilitating, impacting one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. For Pryor, these challenges manifested in erratic behavior, mood swings, and periods of deep despair. Coping with mental illness alongside addiction created a tumultuous cycle, exacerbating his struggles. The intersection of addiction and mental health issues took a toll on Pryor's personal and professional life. His relationships were often strained, characterized by tumultuous dynamics and frequent conflicts. Professionally, despite his immense talent, Pryor's struggles affected his work, leading to missed opportunities, erratic performances, and career setbacks. Tragically, Pryor's life was marked by a series of deeply distressing events. From tumultuous relationships to legal troubles, he faced numerous hardships. One particularly tragic event was the infamous incident in 1980, when Pryor set himself on fire while under the influence of drugs, called freebasing. While doing this, something went terribly wrong, and Pryor accidentally set himself on fire. This led to him suffering from several burns all over his body. It was a tragic incident that shocked many people. After the accident, Pryor faced a lot of health problems. The burns he suffered were very serious and required a lot of medical attention. He had to undergo several surgeries and treatments to try to recover from his injuries. However, the incident took a toll on his health, both physically and mentally. Because of his injuries, Pryor's career suffered a lot. He was unable to perform like he used to before the accident. The burns made it difficult for him to move and speak properly, which affected his ability to entertain people. This was a huge blow to Pryor, as comedy was his passion and livelihood. Not only did the incident affect Pryor's career, but it also had a significant impact on his personal life. He had to deal with the pain and trauma of the accident, as well as the challenges of recovering from such severe injuries. It was a very difficult time for Pryor and those close to him. Despite facing so many challenges, Pryor showed incredible resilience and determination. He continued to work on his comedy career, although it was never quite the same as before. The tragic event in 1980 changed Pryor's life forever. Richard Pryor's personal struggles with addiction, mental health challenges, and tragic events serve as a poignant reminder of the complexities of the human experience. Despite his immense talent and charisma, Pryor's journey underscores the profound impact of these struggles and the importance of compassion, understanding, and support in overcoming them. His influence on comedy and popular culture is still felt today. He made people laugh with his unique style and storytelling. Pryor's legacy is seen in the way he inspired many comedians who came after him. They looked up to him as a pioneer and a trailblazer in the world of comedy. Pryor's humor was not just about making people laugh, it was also about reflecting on society and its issues. He talked about race, politics, and personal struggles in a way that was honest and relatable. His ability to tackle difficult subjects with humor made him stand out among other comedians. Despite facing many challenges in his life, including battles with addiction and personal demons, Pryor triumphed over them. His struggles only added to the depth of his comedy and made his triumphs even sweeter. He showed that it's possible to overcome obstacles and find success, even in the face of adversity. In his final years, Richard Pryor faced tough times due to his declining health. He struggled with a disease called multiple sclerosis, which made it hard for him to move around and affected his overall well-being. Multiple sclerosis is a condition that affects the brain and spinal cord, causing problems with muscle control and strength. Despite his health challenges, Pryor continued to make people laugh with his comedy. He showed incredible strength and resilience, performing despite his illness. However, as time went on, his health worsened, and he had to retire from the spotlight. Sadly, Richard Pryor passed away in 2005. His death was a significant loss for the world of comedy and entertainment. He left behind a legacy of groundbreaking humor and fearless honesty. Pryor was known for his sharp wit, daring social commentary, and ability to tackle taboo subjects with intelligence and humor. Even after his death, Pryor's influence continues to be felt in the world of comedy. He inspired countless comedians with his innovative style and fearlessness. His work remains relevant and continues to entertain audiences around the world. Richard Pryor may be gone, but his impact on comedy will never be forgotten. Today, Pryor's influence can be seen in the work of comedians across generations. They continue to be inspired by his fearlessness, honesty, and ability to find humor in the darkest of situations. Pryor may no longer be with us, but his legacy lives on in the laughter he brought to so many people and the impact he had on the world of comedy.